Okay.
Special guest going to join us now. By the way, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Damien Wilkins is a 10-year NBA veteran. I think he played for the Sonics against the Kings in the playoffs, and he's the general manager and head of basketball at Overtime Elite. The league is a subject of a Prime series called One Shot Overtime Elite, and an episode of that show will be part of the Oak Park Black Film Festival tonight. Damien Wilkins joins us. Damien, how are you, sir? And who are some of the rookies we're going to see in the NBA this year from Overtime Elite?
Oh, thank you guys for having me, man. Appreciate it. Amin and Asar Thompson, of course, you guys gonna see them. They were the number 4 and 5 picks in this past draft. Dominic Barlow plays for the Spurs. He's also a guy that came from Overtime Elite. Jay-Zion Gortman will be there. Jalen Martin will be there. All guys from OTE. So we're very excited about what we've done, what we've accomplished, and excited to see these guys and start their careers.
For the people listening who maybe aren't familiar, Overtime Elite, where are you guys based out of? And tell me about the upcoming talent that you have. We know about the rookies, but, who are the next group of big names that we might hear about?
We're based out of Atlanta. We got guys like Bryson Tiller, who is going to be a definite pro. Shoot, I could go. Who else? Daquan Davis. Jaden Wilkins, my son.
Okay.
He's there. Jakai Howard is there. You see a lot of him in the docuseries if you check that out. But yeah, we got Ja Jackson. Jalen Lewis. We have a bunch of guys, man. We reloaded. We really did. Since that original talent, those first and second year guys left, we really went out and reloaded, got younger. So we'll get to see more of these guys. They'll be able to spend more time with us, so we'll get to see the full development. But I'm very excited about our new crop of guys.
Yeah, we're catching up with Damien Wilkins. He used to play in the NBA, of course. He's the GM of Overtime Elite. So in addition to educating fans about Overtime Elite and entertaining us this series, to what extent could this series be kind of a recruiting tool for you guys as well, Damien?
Well, I think what it does, first of all, it's a human docuseries, right? Like, it has human aspect to it. It's not just about high school basketball. It speaks a lot about perseverance, adversities, overcoming challenges, stepping into, our ecosystem and with your own reality, right? And then having to be told what your reality actually really is, because everyone comes in there thinking that they're a first round pick. And, until they get up against other alphas in the gym, and then, they realize that, like, well, man, I got a lot of work to do. Scouts, the NBA scouts and people that are making these decisions, they don't agree with what my reality is. So a lot of it is that, just building these guys up and helping them, from where they are, and making them as uncomfortable as possible so they can grow as quickly as possible. But it's an amazing show, and what we do at Overtime Elite is second to none.
Damien, Kyle Draper here. I'm looking at your playing career. Whitey talked about it, obviously. When you look at today's NBA, what stands out to you versus when you played in the league?
It's faster. That's for sure. I remember my rookie year when I was in Seattle, we played against Sacramento in the playoffs. Like, our first round matchup was Sacramento. And, when I think about it, Jerome James was like that was like his coming out party. Like, Jerome James could never play. That Jerome James could not play in this league, because it's just so much faster, right? Like, we were coming down and pounding the ball into him. Like, he was having a great series. I think that series got him paid. That's what made New York Knicks. The Knicks gave him that money off of that series. But, like, I think about that now, and I'm like, man, like, we could have never played that way in today's league. So it's a lot faster. I think guys are a lot more talented all around, like, top to bottom. You've got guys out there playing more positionless basketball. You didn't see centers bringing the ball up the court either. And I say that, even saying that makes me sound like it was centuries ago that I was in the NBA, but it wasn't. It's just, that's how fast the game has changed. But it's a very exciting game nowadays. It's a young man's game. Like I'm not getting out there messing with those guys.
Damien Wilkins with us. When you, given, the way you learned the game and you're dealing with these overtime elite prospects now, are there times when you might see something like a big bring the ball off the floor and there's part of you that wants to say, hey, you can't do that, but you realize, no, that's part of the game now?
Yeah, I mean, I've witnessed the game change a lot, so it doesn't really bother me. I actually like versatility. So I like versatile guys. So for me, it's like the one thing I will scream out is you better not turn it over. Right? Like if you're gonna do it, it better work. But I don't frown upon it at all. I let, like, for us at OTE, like, we let our guys, let it all hang out. Like, go grow your games as much as possible. And maybe you weren't able to do that at the high schools that you came from, the respective high schools that, prior to coming to OTE. But if you work on it, we let you do it. That's our rule. Like, if you don't work on it, don't do it. It's like the old Patrick, you and me video when he was yelling at the guy in the huddle, like, do you work on that shot?
Right. You're right about that. You're right. Damien, obviously your last name is synonymous with basketball. Your dad, Gerald, played in the league. Your uncle, Dominique, and you talked about your son as well. What has basketball meant to that Wilkins family, man? Tell me some of those stories growing up.
Man, it's been great for our family, man. Basketball it's for our guys, like, for instance, at OTE, right? Like, they get a part of me, they get the passionate part of me, through that basketball experience that I've had through growing up through it. Like, I don't let these guys take any days off or any days for granted, rather. And I try to help them understand, like, listen, man, like, it's not promised to you. And they like, well, I'm ranked this and I was the number one this. I'm like, I was too. Like, just in case you guys forgot or don't know, I was the number one ranked high school player in the country my senior year. I was also a McDonald's All-American, but I didn't get drafted. Like, I had to work my butt off for those 10 years that I got in the NBA. And I always tell them, like, you guys have to continue to show that work ethic. You have to show it every day. It's a dedication and discipline that, you can't waver from. And that's what it's taught me. Like, that's what basketball being in my life has taught me. It's just, if you want it bad enough, you have to show it and prove it to yourself every single day. Like, there's a toll that you have to pay every day. It's only 450 guys in the NBA, and it's millions of people trying to get in that door every day. And, I think I understood that at an early age, thanks to my dad and my uncle and their experiences and the things that they taught me. And I just tried to learn as much as I can from them, not only on the court, but off, because I wanted my career to go as long as possible. I wanted to do things when I retired. I wanted to be in the positions that I am in now. And even when I look back on it, honestly, like, it's still surreal.
Damien Wilkins, when you played, and 10 years in the NBA, it's quite an accomplishment. Who was the toughest guy for you to guard?
Oh my God. Kobe. Obviously, rest in peace. He was one of them.
How did you go about? What did you do? How did you even try to slow him down?
Well, I didn't talk trash to him, that's for sure. I used to I almost got in a fight with one of my teammates one time. I'm guarding Kobe in the corner, and he's like, "Lock him up." I'm like, "Bro, like, why would you say that?" Like, why would you say that? Like, don't poke the bear. With Paul Pierce, as slow as he was one of the hardest matchups that I've had. Tracy McGrady, to me, like, I played against him in high school. The first time I played against him, I was like, this guy right here is amazing. So he's given me nightmares since my my junior year in high school. LeBron, a freight train coming at you. I mean, I've had some matchups. Manu Ginobili, like,
really,
my rookie year, I got introduced to him after we beat the Kings. I don't mean to keep saying that we beat the Kings. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive me, Kings fans, but after we won that series, our consolation prize was the Spurs, and Manu Ginobili was close to prime Manu Ginobili at that time, and I remember Nate McMillan yelling down the bench, "Hey, rookie!" Like I was like, "Yep." He's like, "You got Manu." I was like, "Damn!" Like, can I warm up first? Can I warm up with Matt Bonner first? So, yeah, those were some great matchups, man. I learned a lot from playing against those guys, man.
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
game kind of slowed down when you guarding those guys and you're not getting a play run for you.
Right,
It's like I can't hit back.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Damien Wilkins. He's the GM and head of basketball at Overtime Elite. And as you may know, Overtime Elite is the subject of this Prime series called One Shot Overtime Elite. And an episode of that is going to be shown tonight, part of the Oak Park Black Film Festival. Damien, you're going to be out there, and I guess you're going to talk with Mayor Johnson after the showing, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm answering some questions. I'm interested to know what episode he's actually showing because I don't know that yet. But it should be fun. I know KJ is a pillar in this city. He's from here and done some great things in the city. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be good.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on the success of Overtime Elite. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys.
And thanks for all the mentions of how you beat the Kings in the playoffs. We
appreciate that. I didn't mention any of that. Sacramento, I didn't say anything about that.
Thank you, Damien. We appreciate it.
All right, guys.